Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com, how to notch cut and cut square holes in ceramic tile. There are many different ways of cutting these notches or these holes. We're going to show you a couple of the easiest. We're going to start with a wet saw, and these are available. They're fairly inexpensive, or you can even rent them. We marked out the notch that we want to cut, and then we're going to cut a series of slots, quarter to 3/8 of an inch apart. And then after those slots are cut, we have to score the line, and that scored line has to touch all of the notches and, most importantly, the two corners. Now you can use we're using a disc grinder with a ceramic wheel or a masonry wheel, and this makes very quick work of it. We're just going to score the finished surface of the tile, and just make sure, go very slowly, make sure that that scored line touches both corners. Depending on how deep you cut that, some of those pieces actually fall off on their own, and the others you can just knock off with another piece of tile. Now, if you don't have a disc grinder, you can actually use a Dremel grinder. This one we're using with a grinding wheel, and again, it's the same principle. We use the wet saw just to cut the grooves, and then we're just scoring the finished surface of the tile with the Dremel grinder, and then we're going to knock off each piece. Now, to cut a square opening in a tile, and this would be for a electrical outlet or a switch, again, we're going to use that disc grinder with the masonry bit. This time we're going to cut all 4 lines. Again, we're going to start on the finished surface of the ceramic tile, and again, most important is that each one of those lines touches each other in the corners. Now, when cutting out a square opening, we do want to plunge cut that disc grinder in as deep as possible, so that we're actually cutting through the tile. And this takes a few minutes, but it doesn't really take all that long. This disc grinder with the masonry wheel goes through it pretty quickly. And just go back over each line, making sure that each of those corners connects, and that each line is as deep as possible. And once that's done, flip the tile over, and you'll see some of the lines will have cut right through the tile. And then, so from the back side, follow those marks that are shown, or the slots that you can see from that side, and finish off those cuts as much as possible from the back side, so that all you're going to remain with, holding that square in place, are the corners, where the round wheel can't match up correctly or completely. And at this point, you're ready to pop out that square, as long as on the finished side those grooves in the corners are all touching each other. I just use a corner of a small scrap of tile, lift up the tile just a little bit, and just give it a couple small light taps, and that centerpiece should pop out. Now, occasionally you will lose a tile. You'll crack the tile during the process, but with a little practice, cutting notches and cutting squares and tiles is really no problem at all. And these are, of course, used for cutting around any fixtures, any molding. You can cut angles. There's a picture of molding, and of course electrical outlets and switches. Please check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. Be sure to check out our other how-to videos. And if you like this video, I ask that you please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel.